Have you ever wondered if belief and faith hold the same meaning in the Hebraic perspective? It's an intriguing question, one that invites us to peer into a tapestry of profound understanding that dwells beyond the familiar Western Greek influences. It's a journey into a mindset where intellect, heart, and action are not separate entities, but rather they form a beautiful plenitude of a singular nature, challenging the dichotomy or oppositional separation that is prevalent in Greek philosophy. Now let's talk about belief and faith. In our everyday conversations, we often use these words interchangeably. However, the Hebraic understanding brings us to a new dimension. It's not merely about intellectual acceptance. It's about tangible actions that spring forth from a deep-seated conviction. And where does this conviction come from? It originates from a persuasion that is divinely instilled. This perspective aligns beautifully with the discourse of James in his letter to the followers of Yeshua. Notice how James challenged the prevalent Greek philosophy. He advocated for deeds alongside faith. According to him, true faith is something that you can see in action. It's a totality of belief and tangible response initiated from the belief. Now let's shift our gaze to the concept of grace. In common parlance, we often understand grace to be an unmerited favor, but the Hebraic perspective takes us beyond this Greco-Roman notion. Delving into the story of Paul's thorn in the flesh, we discover grace to be not just a gift bestowed on the undeserving, but God's response to our trials, temptations, and struggles. Grace, in this light, is an ongoing opportunity to align with God's will. It extends beyond a one-time bestowal and becomes a continuous opportunity for restoration and the power to do the restorative work. So as we journey through this exploration of belief, faith, and grace, we see that the Hebraic perspective underscores action as a testament to true faith. As we delve deeper, you'll see that in the Hebraic perspective, belief and faith are intertwined with action, forming an intricate connection that challenges the Greek philosophy. Grace, often simply seen as unmerited favor, holds a deeper meaning in the Hebraic understanding. Would you like to explore? When we delve into the narrative of Paul's thorn in the flesh, a compelling picture of grace emerges. This biblical account is more than just a tale of suffering. It's a profound revelation of grace in the Hebraic sense. Paul, a man who committed himself to spreading the gospel, was not shielded from hardship. Instead, he encountered a thorn, a persistent struggle that he pleaded with Yahweh to remove. But rather than granting Paul's request, the Most High responded, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." This response might seem perplexing. Why would Yahweh allow his faithful servant to suffer? In the Hebraic understanding, grace is not simply unmerited favor. It's not just about receiving something we don't deserve. It's about our Heavenly Father providing strength in our weakness, hope in our despair, and resilience in our struggles. Grace in this sense is Yahweh's response to trials, temptations, and struggles. It's not a one-off gift, but an ongoing divine opportunity. This concept of grace extends beyond the simplistic notion that grace is merely a gift for the undeserving. It's about God's continuous presence, guidance, and strength in our lives, especially during our most challenging moments. This understanding of grace paints a picture of a compassionate, caring master who doesn't abandon us in our struggles, but provides us with the strength to endure. Paul's thorn in the flesh narrative reveals that grace is not about escaping difficulties, but about finding strength in Yeshua amidst these difficulties. It's about recognizing Yahweh's continuous presence, guidance, and strength in our lives. It's about embracing Yahweh's sufficient grace that empowers us to face our trials with courage and resilience. In the Hebraic perspective, grace is more than a one-time bestowal. It is a continuous opportunity for restoration. It's an invitation to lean on Yahweh's strength, to trust in His guidance, and to find hope in His promises, especially when we face trials and struggles. This is the grace beyond favor, the grace that persists and empowers. In the Hebraic understanding, what role do works play in faith? As we dive deeper into this question, we discover that the Hebraic perspective offers a fresh outlook on the relationship between faith and works. In the Hebraic mindset, faith is not a mere intellectual acceptance. It's a conviction deeply rooted in the Creator's persuasion. This conviction doesn't just reside in the mind. It permeates the heart and manifests through actions. It's a faith that is alive, vibrant, and active, shaping our thoughts, feelings, and deeds. Now let's visit Ephesians 2:8, where Paul presents an insightful perspective on faith and works. He declares, For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing, it is the gift of Yahweh. This verse is often misunderstood, leading many to believe that works have no part in faith, but in truth, Paul isn't dismissing works. He's merely emphasizing that works in themselves don't save us. So where do works fit into this Hebraic perspective of faith? They emerge as a natural outflow of genuine faith. It's like a tree bearing fruit. The fruit doesn't make the tree. Instead, it's the tree's life force that produces the fruit. Similarly, our works are a natural expression of our faith, a testament to the life force of Yahweh's persuasion within us. Paul further underscores this in Ephesians 2:10, stating, "For we are his workmanship, created in Messiah Yeshua for good works, which Yahweh prepared beforehand that we should walk in them." Here, Paul paints a vivid picture of faith and works in harmony. Yahweh ordains good works, not as a means to earn salvation, but as a way for us to express our faith and love, the resulting evidence of being saved. So, in essence, the Hebraic understanding of faith and works is this: works don't save us, but they are a natural and expected outcome of genuine, God-given faith. They are not an obligation or a burden, but a joyous expression of our love for Yahweh. Paul underscores that ordained good works resulting from faith are an expression of love, not an obligation for salvation. Why does James challenge the dichotomy between faith and works? This question beckons a deeper exploration into the Hebraic perspective. James, a torchbearer of this ancient worldview, stands firm against the Greek-influenced dichotomy that separates faith from works. In the Hebraic mindset, the concept of faith is not merely a mental assent to a series of doctrines or a passive acceptance of divine truths. Instead, it's an active, living conviction that permeates every aspect of life. This faith, as James so eloquently puts it, is dead without works. It's not that works are a prerequisite for faith, but rather they are the natural and inevitable outflow of a faith that is alive and active. James challenges this dichotomy head-on, advocating for a faith that's more than just intellectual acceptance. It's a faith that's lived out daily, that's tangible and visible in our actions, that prove our faith. This perspective aligns perfectly with the Hebraic understanding of faith as being intrinsically bound to action. It's a faith that's not just professed, but practiced. Let's delve deeper into James's discourse. In his letter, James isn't advocating for a works-based salvation. Instead, he's highlighting how genuine faith is evidenced by actions. It's about showcasing our beliefs through our behaviors, our convictions with our conduct. This Hebraic perspective of faith is a wholeness of belief and action. It's an understanding that true faith, a persuasion originating from Yahweh, naturally produces good works. These works are not for salvation, but are the tangible evidence of a faith that is alive and active. So, when James challenges the dichotomy between faith and works, he's not advocating for keeping Torah for salvation. Instead, he's highlighting the Hebraic understanding that true faith is not just about words, but about actions that underscore its existence. James aligns with the Hebraic understanding, emphasizing that true faith is not just words, but actions that prove its existence, keeping Torah because that is who we became upon salvation. How can we personally explore these profound concepts of belief, faith, and grace? Each of us has a unique spiritual journey, and as such, the exploration of these concepts is deeply personal. We must open ourselves to the scriptures, immersing in the verses, contemplating the meanings, and seeking the wisdom hidden within. To grasp the Hebraic intertwining of belief, faith, and grace, we must engage with the scriptures not merely as texts, but as living words that speak to our hearts. We must contemplate the dual perspective of faith as both intellectual acceptance and tangible action. We must question, probe, and ponder, allowing the scriptures to challenge our preconceived notions and broaden our understanding. The journey towards understanding this profound concept is not a destination, but a continuous process. It's a path of discovery, of questioning, of seeking. It's a journey that demands our engagement, our curiosity, and our openness. The depth of understanding often lies in individual exploration. So, delve into the scriptures, contemplate, and seek a deeper understanding of these profound concepts.